So today we're doing a deep dive into something that I think is a truly universal source of frustration.
The busy signal.
The busy signal, absolutely. We have sources covering the story of this developer, Dietmar Zipfel, who just ran into this wall and, well, decided he was going to code his way over it.
Yeah, and it's such a great case study because it starts with this very human, very relatable problem, but it quickly becomes this whole lesson in, mobile operating system architecture.
Right. We're getting into the nuts and bolts of an app called weCall4you.
Hmm.
And the origin story here, it's not some sleek startup office.
Right.
It's much more down to earth.
Oh, completely. It was literally a hallway conversation. He had a former colleague who was just panicking.
Okay.
She was trying to book a birth preparation course. And if you've ever, tried to get into one of those, the window to call is tiny.
Oh, possible. Right.
She was just calling, getting the busy tone again and again, and she was, just losing it. So I finally just asked him, can't you build an app that just keeps redialing for me?
Which, on the surface, sounds like it should be super simple, like basic automation.
You would think so. And Zipfel's actually the perfect guy to ask. He'd already built another system called Anrufi for tradespeople, so he knew telephony.
So he had the background.
He did. But when he actually sat down to build a simple auto redialer for an iPhone, he had a hard stop.
Let me take a wild guess. Apple.
Apple, of course. Specifically, their API policies. The whole walled garden.
Okay, so break that down for people who aren't coders. Why would Apple care if my phone redials a number for me? I mean, it's my phone.
It's all about security, really, and user experience.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't want third-party apps to be able to, hijack core phone functions without you knowing.
Ah.
Yeah, if any app could just start making calls in the background, you can imagine the door that opens for spam bots or those premium rate scams.
Right. Okay, so it's a guardrail. The system is protecting the user, but in this one specific case, it's also preventing the solution.
Exactly. The phone is physically capable, but the software policy says no. And that's where most developers would probably just give up.
But not this guy.
Nope. He's described as a tinkerer. He realized, okay, if the phone isn't allowed to do the dialing, then he had to take the work off the phone completely.
This is the pivot. So how do you make a call without the phone, making the call?
You build a middleman, an intermediary platform. He basically shifted the entire architecture from being on-device to cloud-based.
Okay, so explain how that actually works. I'm the user. I want to call my doctor's office. It's always busy. What do I do?
You open the app, you punch in the number,
Yeah.
and you essentially send a request to Zipfel's server.
Like a job ticket.
Exactly. You're telling the server, hey, get me this number. Then you can just close the app, put your phone in your pocket. The server is the one that starts dialing the doctor over and over again.
So my phone isn't doing the heavy lifting anymore?
Not at all. And here's the really clever part. When someone at the doctor's office finally picks up, could be 2 minutes, could be 20, the server detects that, holds the line, and immediately calls your phone.
It bridges the two calls together.
It bridges the call. It turns an outbound active frustration into a simple inbound call.
That's a brilliant shift in the user experience. The name weCall4you isn't just a brand, it's literally describing the service.
It is. And because it works that way, it totally bypasses Apple's restrictions. The app itself never makes a call, it just sends a data packet. That's it.
And that's why it could launch on both systems, Apple and Android.
Yep. It respects the rules while completely working around the limitation. And it did solve the original problem. The colleague got her appointment.
That's great. It's a good reminder that sometimes a software problem is really just a location problem. You just move the process somewhere else.
Exactly. And for anyone interested in the specifics, the sources point to phoneassist.com.
So before we wrap up, this whole thing leads to a bit of a weird thought about the future of, well, calling.
Yeah, the bigger picture of it all.
Right. If we can offload the most annoying parts of making a call, the dialing, the waiting on hold to a server.
Are we even heading towards a future where we actively call anyone ourselves? Or do we just, issue connection requests to the cloud and let an AI figure out the best time for us both to actually talk?
Asynchronous dialing.
Yeah.
I think I'd prefer that to the busy signal. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.